Hi, my name's Joshua Cartwright. I'm the author of Jesus and Me, One Child's Friendship with the Son of God. I want to tell you a little bit about the book, who it's for, and why I think it would be a good addition to your collection for your child. Now, Imma, the main character, is an 8-year-old girl who lives in Bethany near Jerusalem. She lives there in 32 AD, which is the time of Jesus, and her life's fairly ordinary. They live under Roman occupation, but one day she's doing some housework. She hears a commotion out in the street and she runs out and boom, she bumps literally into this strange man who turns out to be Jesus. Now, the Jews at the time were waiting for a Messiah who would lead them to victory over the Romans and restore Israel to its rightful place as God's people. So when Imma meets Jesus, he's not at all what she's expecting. He's got divine power from God, quite obviously, as she sees some of the miracles. He's incredibly wise and kind, but he won't drive the Romans out. So Jesus and Me is the story of her coming to faith. Will she come to faith in a Messiah that is not what she expects, but might be everything that she needs? Now, if you are a Christian parent, an educator, a Sunday school teacher of children aged 8 to 12, especially girls, although boys can read it as well, then you're really going to benefit from having this book, because not only does it ground Jesus as a real person in a real time and place with friends and family and having interactions with people, but it's also historically accurate. I had the first few chapters checked by a New Testament professor. So when your child is reading it, they're really going to feel like they're there. There's a lot of small details, which I'll talk about in a minute, that really add to the authenticity of it. Now, the main thing about the book is, for this age group, 8 to 12, yes, there's books like, 100 Questions about the Bible, but a story that sees Jesus through the eyes of a child their age and the kind of questions they're starting to ask. As far as I can tell, there's not that many of those, and this really helps your child along on that journey. Now, along with the book, you get explanations of a few Hebrew and Aramaic and Greek words that I've used in there, just scattered around. There's a map of where Jesus and Imma live in their separate places in Israel. There's a section on games that children played in the time of Jesus. They're a lot of fun as well. And all the pictures are very very authentically drawn. I did a lot of research for this. So one of the questions you may be asking as a Christian parent, okay, this is a story, so is it actually going to confuse my child as to what is in the Bible and what you made up? And that's a really good question, because that's something I wrestled with at the start. But what I did was I remembered that there are these Bibles called red letter Bibles where the words of Jesus are in red. So I put a note to parents at the front, clearly stating that it's fiction. But also the words from the scriptures themselves from Jesus are in blue, and everything else is in regular print. Plus I've put and referenced all the scriptural references at the end of each chapter so you can go through them with your child. So that's it. I mean, at the moment, it's available to pre-order on Amazon in Kindle. Possibly by the time you see this, you'll see paperback up there as well. And I'm going to do a special hardback edition for Ingram Sparks. If you also want to check out some of my other books, there's a Christian character in the Granny JJ Adventures. That's a great story about an old South American grandmother who investigates mysteries in the villages of Guyana. And for those parents that have children that never do anything on time, you're really going to love The Girl Who Took Forever. So thank you very much for listening. Please check out Jesus and Me. If it's if it's available, get yourself a sample. But I'm sure you're going to love it. And if you go to jesusandmebook.com, there'll be some resources for you to download. First century fact sheet. I'm planning to do a Bible study there as well. So from my heart to yours, may God bless you, and I really hope you enjoy the book.